Well, hello everyone. I'm Sibyl Starr, and I'm here today. We're going to be talking about the Pleiadians. I have a series called Meet Your Star Nation Relatives, and today, like I said, we are meeting the Pleiadians. This is the fourth in a series of what I hope to be many episodes where we meet different Star Nation relatives. And as our frequency increases here on Mother Earth, the veil is lifting, and we will be experiencing higher frequency dimensions. And in this higher vibrational field, we will begin to encounter beings, our Star Nation relatives, who exist in these higher dimensions. I feel I have been guided to share this information with you as well as many others. I am not the only one, as this is such a big shift in consciousness, and many have been assigned this task. I believe it is part of remembering who we are. And as it is said, when we remember who we are, we will remember why we came. And as I said, I have done this is the fourth one in a series. I've done an episode on to meet your Star Nation relatives, the Arcturians, the Syrians, and those from the Hydra constellation. And we're meeting the Pleiades, and one of the reasons I chose the Pleiades to meet them at this point of time is because I'm creating this video in November, and the sun is opposite the Pleiades in November, from around the 19th of November through the 24th of November. So they're very clear. You can see them. If the sky is clear, it's easier to see them in the sky. Now, the sun is conjunct the Pleiades, and so we don't see them, but their energy is very strong in May, from around May 19th to the 24th. All right, so let us begin. All right. All right, so meet your Star Nation relatives, the Pleiades. All right, or the Pleiadians, those from the Pleiades. All right. So here we have an image. These are images of the Pleiades, the seven sisters, and here are the actual stars in the there's over 1,000 stars in this constellation, but there are like 7 that are really bright. And the main ones here are Alcyone, Merope, Electra, Selena, Maya, Taygeta, and Asterope. We also have Pleione and Atlas over here, and they are considered the parents of, and we're going to get into the little bit of the mythology and the history of the Pleiades before we go on to meeting who the Pleiadians are. So the Pleiades star cluster is visible from virtually all parts of the globe. It is seen from as far north as the North Pole and farther south than the southernmost tip of South America. It looks like a misty dipper of stars. It is 444 light years away from Earth. There are over 1,000 stars in this cluster, but there are several that shine more brightly and are known as the Seven Sisters. For convenient viewing, late fall and winter are the prime times for seeing the Pleiades, and by January, the cluster rides high in the sky. The Pleiades are first in a line of 3 brilliant winter objects that rise one after the other over the course of about 6 hours. The Pleiades rise first, followed by Orion, and finally Sirius. The cluster will appear as anything from a vague misty patch to 7 or more individual stars and is visible to the naked eye. Some viewers with excellent vision can see 12 or more, but if you grab a pair of binoculars to observe the cluster, you'll be amazed at how bright it can be. And this is how you see the Pleiades. Okay, we'll move my picture here a little bit. So here are the Pleiades up here. But if you can locate Orion, and most people can find this belt of Orion, it's kind of one of the first things that comes that you see in the night sky. And actually, in Sirius is also down here. It's down here to the left. Okay, it kind of follows the belt right down here to the left. But anyway, so you want to find Orion's belt, and then you look up to the right, and there is a red star, and it can be very kind of reddish orange. Aldebaran is a very large star, and then you just kind of keep going up to your right, and then there is the little cluster of the Pleiades. Okay, all right. Now, here's the mythology of the Pleiades. Okay, move my picture there. The ancient humans depicted the Pleiadians in cave paintings in Lascaux, France. Lascaux, I think that maybe how you say it, Lascaux, France, representing the cluster as a series of painted dots near a large bull, which is presumably Taurus. And I should have said that too. The Pleiades is actually in the shoulder of Taurus the bull. The earliest written reference, however, is a likely Chinese record dating back to 2300 BC. The cluster's modern name, however, is Greek, along with the Seven Sisters nickname and the names of the most prominent stars, Electra, Taygeta, Maya, Solano, Alcyone, Sterope, and Merope. In Greek lore, these seven sisters were the daughters of Atlas and Pleione. The Pleiades name is derived from the name of the mother, Pleione, which in turn probably means sailing or many plenty. The sailing reference might refer to the heliacal rising of the Pleiades, which coincided with fine nautical weather in the Mediterranean. And the heliacal rising star is the star that rises before the sun in the east, okay? Anyway, in Homer's Odyssey, around 700 BC, the hero Odysseus uses the Pleiades as a navigational beacon. Another common concept held is that the Pleiades are birds. In rural European areas, for example, the cluster was often called the hen or the hen with chicks. In some European cultures and Native Americans alike saw the Pleiades as being a hole that showed the light from the heavens. Many indigenous cultures had their own mythology related to the Pleiades, including the Aborigines of Australia and the Cherokee. Okay, and here's the astrology of the Pleiades. Okay, we'll move up here just a bit. All right, so Bernadette Brady, excuse me, Bernadette Brady says that the Pleiades take up about a degree in the sky. They're not very big. Actually, you know, we do galactic astrology, and we have them at anywhere from around 28 degrees, 27, 28 degrees of Taurus to 2 degrees of Gemini. And some say if you put your finger in the sky, it takes about a finger's width actually in the sky. So it's not very big. And actually, I'm sitting right in front of the Pleiades star system, but it has claimed more poetry, scientific writing, and recordings and myths than any other constellation. In Babylon, the heliacal rising of the Pleiades heralded the beginning of the new year. And this is the star that rises in the east just before the sun. And the Celts used the heliacal settings star, the star that rises in the east just after the sun sets, as the month of mourning for their beloved dead. So the Pleiades for the Celts would be the heliacal setting star. And as a prayer would be said on what is now known as November 1st, it is related to All Hallows Eve or Halloween, and it is linked to the fates. To the Egyptians, the Pleiades were 7 goddesses whom the dead had to encounter and by whom they had to be judged. To the Greeks, the Pleiades were part of an early cult of Aphrodite, who gave birth to 7 daughters and turned them into a flock of doves. The leader of the doves was a dove goddess, Alcyone, who was said to bring good weather for the planting season. Alcyone is the brightest star in this constellation, and in 2023, it is at 0 degrees 19 minutes of Gemini. The principle of Alcyone is that of inner vision and activation of the third eye. There is a desire to seek inner knowledge, but it is linked to the fates and the judgment of the dead. The constellation of the Pleiades is found from 28 Taurus to, I have one, but I'm going to say 2 degrees of Gemini, and planets or angles conjunct or opposite would show a strong connection to the Pleiades as part of galactic astrology. There are many other indicators, but galactic astrology, we would look and see if you have planets planets or angles aligned with the Pleiades, and that would give you a Pleiadian imprint. And so, as I said too, it is conjunct the sun from around May 19th to the 23rd or 24th, and is opposite November 20th, 19th to the 24th, right in there. So if it's in the fall or the winter that you are viewing this video, this is when the Pleiades, they're most visible. Okay. Okay, all right. And so who are the Pleiadians themselves? The Pleiadians are a hybrid of the indigenous population that have always resided on the planets of the star constellation of the Pleiades, and refugees that came from the planet Avalon and other planets in the Lyran star system. They say that most that humanoids in the Milky Way galaxy, they're all related to the Lyrans because they were master geneticists, and they created the humanoid species here in the Milky Way galaxy, and they became refugees and migrated to the Pleiades and colonized the Pleiades. Okay, the Pleiadians are highly creative, loving souls. They exist in the 5th dimension and are born from a realm of love and creativity. They exist in a parallel reality that we do not experience them through our 5 senses, but through our extrasensory awareness. As spirits of light, the Pleiadians can be described as having light bodies, which are completely different from the flesh bodies of our earthly kind. The light bodies of the Pleiadians can appear in anthropomorphic forms as well as abstract forms. The Pleiadians come across as human beings of light, the so-called shining ones, or as fields of light or streams of light without even borders or edges. And here's a couple of images. Here's the kind of the more Nordic Pleiadians, and here's a more energetic Pleiadian. Okay. Pleiadians are humans in higher vibrational field and often appear to us as either Nordic or brown-skinned indigenous beings. They're very connected to, the Pleiadians are very connected to indigenous people. The Pleiadians had colonies on Mother Earth millions of years ago, and it is said that we share much DNA with the Pleiadians. It is said they are the ancestors of many indigenous people, such as the Australian Aborigines and the North American Cherokee. Many tribes call them their Star Nation relatives. They have been very involved in the evolution of consciousness here, and a large segment of the starseed population on Earth has partly originated from the Pleiadians. Some also say they have been involved in the genetic evolution of Earth human DNA. They are beacons of light and knowledge, here to help humanity move towards the golden age of transformation. Pleiadians are known to be very empathetic, sensitive healers who heal with sound and crystals. Pleiadians are also very involved in the creative arts, especially music and dance. In 1975, a man named Billy Meyer, who lived in Switzerland, had contact with a group of Pleiadians who came to Earth in their starship. Billy Meyer produced a number of photographs, which he said were of Pleiadian beam ships, as well as sketches that he said were of the Pleiadians themselves, which this is one of them. This is one of the Billy Meyer sketches. And he had a lot of contact with this woman right here. Okay. And here's just simply another image of a Pleiadian woman here. Okay. Up here. Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. Where are we? Oh, yeah. Meyer's Pleiadians were said to be spiritual and in touch with nature. and they became a component of the New Age movement during the 1970s, where they were depicted as being a peace-loving race of space brothers, which was said to be warning contactees that humanity was heading towards self-destruction and offering them alternative philosophies to avert such an eventuality. Most of the civilizations in the Milky Way have gone through their own ascension process, but prior to that had a similar history to ours, but with different teachings. In the history of the Pleiadians, they were known to believe in always being positive and what we would call today spiritual bypass. As a result, they developed an immune system disorder due to the inability to feel negative feelings. Their holy people figured this out, and once again, it is about the integration of the shadow that heals us and makes us whole. Many Pleiadian starseeds here on Earth carry this imprinting. Okay. Another piece of their history is the Pleiadians were rescuers due to their great sensitivity. They saw the people of Orion suffering. And next month, I'm going to be talking about Orion and the Orion Wars and what went on there in our galactic history. Anyway, but the Pleiadians, being very sensitive and empathic, attempted to intervene and rescue some of the Orions. The Orion Empire retaliated and destroyed a most beautiful planet there in the Pleiadian star system. Many Earth activists have Pleiadian cosmic DNA and remember when their planet was destroyed. And there can also be some collective guilt around this. I just wanted to share, I got the galactic history of the Pleiades came from Lisa Royal Holt and her galactic heritage cards and her book, The Prism of Lyra. So if you're really interested in the galactic history, Lisa Royal Holt has a series of books as well as a wonderful online channel where she's a channel herself. She has a YouTube channel where she really talks about the history, and there's a lot to be learned. Okay, we're not alone here in this universe. We never have been, and other beings have history as well. Okay, all right, let's go to the next slide. Okay, all right, so this is about the Pleiadian Light Council, which is what this is over here, this image. Okay, and so the Pleiadian Light Council provides spiritual, tactical, and governmental guidance to the 12 members of the Pleiadian Council. And there are 12 divisions in this council, creating a total of 144 elected High Council members. The council performs many different tasks, overseeing the entirety of the Pleiadian relations with the rest of the galaxy. The Pleiadian Light Council is an essential member of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and has an enormous impact on the decisions made for the galactic whole. And this information here comes from Debbie Solaris. She says each of the star systems in the Pleiades has its own specialty as listed below. So Atlas, his specialty is navigation and travel, star mapping, astronomy, and science. Merope is the home of the Pleiadian psycho-spiritual healing and divine feminine mysteries. Maya is the Pleiadian pursuit of spiritual knowledge, universal law, shamanism, and archaeology. Electra, advanced technology, inventions, star codes, template builders, and implementers. Pleione is the Pleiadian sanctuary star system rest and respite for Pleiadians and deep spirituality. Taygeta, let me move up here. Taygeta is Starfleet Command, advanced technology, star exploration, and scientific pursuits. And just in case you are interested, on Gaia TV, they have a whole series about a Taygetan Starfleet Command group that is here monitoring the airspace of Mother Earth, or less, not so much the airspace, but you know, the field around us. And they have a series of transmissions coming from this Taygeta Starfleet ship. And then we have Alcyone, which is the seat of Pleiadian civilization and government, creativity, music, administration, general and varied interest, and culture. This is the seat of their the creative seat here. Okay. All right. All right. So let's talk about now some Pleiadian starseed traits. Okay. All right. And so, of course, starseeds are, we know, or it has become, in the quantum field, we have become aware that we are multidimensional beings and that we exist on many different levels. And so starseeds are those that carry the cosmic DNA of other star nations, whether or not they're living a life there or not, or whether it has been a past. Well, basically, it's a multidimensional life. It just depends on which timeline. That's a better way to say that. Okay. All right. But there are many Pleiadian starseeds right here, right now, as we're really being involved in this great shift of consciousness here on Mother Earth. And the Pleiadians have always been here to help support the evolution of human consciousness. And there are, like I said, there are many here who are deeply imprinted by this Pleiadians. Okay. All right. So Pleiadian starseed traits. Pleiadians are known for being healers. They're very psychic, intuitive, empathic, and sensitive. They heal with sound and music, work with music that contains higher vibrational frequencies that activate higher chakra centers. Okay. And like I say, a Pleiadian starseed is a human, okay, having a human life, but with deep Pleiadian markings, whether or not you are having a parallel life there or whether it was a past timeline, but you carry the markings, okay? All right, it's great advancement in music and dance because they're here to change the rhythm of Mother Earth, the planet. Highly creative souls in every art form, but I'm going to say especially in music and dance. They're known as, but they also have artists. They're creative in all fields. They're known as great communicators that speak their truth. They demand justice for all. They are connected to nature and Mother Earth. They're good with animals, connected to crystals, are humanitarians. They're very sensitive to noise, drugs, and alcohol, and maybe sensitive to criticism. Pleiadians dislike conflict. They're very sensitive to low vibrational energies, but they may have boundary issues as they are so sensitive and empathic. It's so important to know what is yours and what belongs to others, how to be present for someone, but not rescue them. Okay. May have a desire to fix others and can be people pleasers. Now, this also comes from Debbie Solaris. This is what she has to say, especially about health needs. They're very sensitive, highly empathic. They transmute negative energies, and it can become overwhelming for them. They can struggle with diabetes, blood sugar issues, cancer, codependent relationships. Pleiadians need a lot of self-care and do better on a vegetarian or vegan diet. Okay. All right, so some words that describe Pleiadian starseeds are nurturers, motherly, artistic, intuitive, knowledge keeper, joyful, sensitive, loving, and transformative. There are many Pleiadian starseeds here on Mother Earth now to help us with our ascension process into a fifth dimensional reality of living from the heart. And Bashar, those of you who are not familiar with Bashar, he is what is called a Sasani, and he is a hybrid being. He is channeled by a man named Daryl Anka, who has done this for a long time, and he's has very incredible information. Anyway, Bashar says that 2023 is the first year of a 10-year process of an increased open contact with our Star Nation relatives. He says it will be the Pleiadians who make that first contact, as our human DNA is so close to theirs. And those starseeds that have Pleiadian DNA as part of their cosmic blueprint may be the first ones they contact. So, could you be a Pleiadian starseed? And I want to close this part with this beautiful quote. And it says, as you come into the age of light, worlds will open that you never knew existed. This is from the Pleiadians, okay? As we are shifting into these higher frequency vibrational fields, a whole world is opening to us that we never believed could exist. That's what I think that says. All right. And so I do want to share this with you. This is something I do called Galactic Astrology. And I'm sharing a chart with someone who has a very strong Pleiadian contact. This client has, her sun is at 1 degree, 24 minutes of Sagittarius. It's opposite Alcyone, okay? And so this is what's called galactic astrology, as I said. So where we line up the basic birth chart. Here's this woman, here's the sun here at 1 degree, 24 minutes of Sagittarius. And then this is how that chart aligns with different fixed stars that are in constellations that are not part of mostly not part of the zodiac. Some of them are, but these, we know that there are star nations from many of these different star systems because they have made themselves known. And so a galactic astrology reading helps us really discover, let's say, your starseed origins, your cosmic DNA, what imprinting you came in with, and how it is woven into your consciousness, and maybe what your soul mission is, and who you're working with, okay? All right. So if you are interested in having a galactic astrology reading, you can contact me, Sibyl Star. I do the galactic astrology, and here is my website, www.sibylstar.com. Okay. All right. I think that is it. As I said, as we begin to remember who we are, we will remember why we came. It gives us a bigger picture of what our lives are all about. All right. So many blessings to everyone, and namaste. Blessings.